Setato umane pepe se pepe isi. Hallelujah, fafita. Ia pepe se ia pepe se. Hallelujah, fafita.
Thank you for bringing us all safely together. Bless us, our teacher, his wife, and his family. Bless us all in continuing on this journey. Also, we lift up Adam and his family and his family's loss. Bless them all. Hold their hearts in your hand. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Alipodi, it's your turn. I think we accidentally lost Kaliponi, but she will be back. Give her a minute.
Make this louder.
Sa ungil. Yes, sir. Okay. Rough tight. All right, folks, technical difficulties. Okay, here's Kaliponi. And they're going to be giving us our closing song. No. Doesn't seem to be working for them. All right, guys. Hello, George.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I missed last week.
No worries, bro. Good to see you again. I gotta make you. I make some co-hosts so that we can have privileges in the room. There's Dana. Give Kaliponi 1 more minute, and if it doesn't work out, on from there. Thank you, everybody, for being patient. And then I have a few things to discuss before we get into class periods. Let me check my email real quick, see if Kaliponi emailed me. Oh, there she is. Looks like I kicked her out again. All right, sorry guys. I'll close it up. Ufi ufi roanganga, ufi ufi roanganga, anganga sae ufi mai. Te no fofile mu pata si mai Yesu anganga sae ufi mai. Amen. Baftai, once again, everybody for joining our Falegagana class. I just wanted to put a few things out there before we start class again today. So, I'm sorry, Roxy?
Oh no, I'm talking to my hubby.
No worries.
Can
No
you
worries.
make this louder?
So, there are a few things that I wanted to put forth for class that we can use during class if we have questions or any of those other things we want to say. There's some vocabulary that I wanted to share with you guys, and I wanted to make a note of why we do the Lotu at the beginning of class. It's because in most Samoan situations where we do these kind of things, you're going to encounter that. So it isn't anything about a particular denomination or any kind of proselyting. It's just it's common within the Samoan culture to do that. It's how we usually have family meetings, and it's how they're usually conducted. So I'm trying to prepare you guys for when you're actually in these situations to know how the protocol goes and what's going to happen so that you guys will be prepared. Beyond that, I have a few words I wanted to add to the vocabulary. I wasn't able to send it on the email, but I'm going to write them in the chat so that way we can use these words whenever. So first word is fa'amolemole. Fa'amolemole. Anybody here knows what fa'amolemole means?
Please.
Please, very good. Fa'amolemole is please. And then the second word is fisili. Anybody know what fisili is?
No.
Question.
Is that Tinora? Or Vai?
Vai.
Vai, Malolava Vai Faftai. Yes, fisili is question. So generally, if we have a question, somebody will say fisili fa'amolemole. Very, very good. Those are the two things.
F-E-S-I-L-I?
Yes,
Spelling?
F-E-S-I-L-I, fisili.
Thank you.
Fisili fa'amolemole, or just fisili. Yellow fisili. Yellow fisili is like, I have a question. Fisili fa'amolemole, I have a question, please. I'm sorry?
Okay.
Yeah. So the whole thing looks like this. Sorry. Fisili fa'amole. Mole. Thank you, Wesa. Yeah, fisili fa'amolemole. But usually we just say fisili fa'amolemole or just fisili. Very, very simple. So those are a couple of vocab you can use if you want to ask a question. Again, it's not mandatory. If you want to just say, I have a question, that's fine too. But I figure it's good to have those in your arsenal in case you want. And then we're going to go on into our materials for today. So Wesa and I have been sweating very much to put these next few slides together. Let's see the slides, Wesa, please, and then we'll decide where we're going to start from. Everybody seems to be pretty caught up with everything that we went through. In fact, can you go back? Why don't we do the pronunciation exercise real quick with everybody on mute, just so that we get a chance to exercise our there. Perfect. So I'm gonna say it out loud so you guys can hear. follow along with me, and then we'll go through the entire alphabet as is written right here, starting from Fa. I gotta make sure everybody's on mute so that we don't have the reverberation through. Do we have everybody on mute, please? Looks like we do. All right. So follow along with me on your side. Starting from Fa. Fa, Fe. Sorry, at that. Dana and what's up? Please watch the waiting room, please. Fa, Fe, Fi, Fo, Fu. Nga, Nge, Ngi, Ngo, Ngu. La, Le, Li, Lo, Lu. Ma, Me, Mi, Mo, Mu. Na, Ne, Ni, No, Nu. Pa, Pe, Pi, Po, Pu. Sa, Se, Si, So, Su. Ta, Te, Ti, So, Tu. Va, Be, Bi, Bo, Bu. Ha, He, Hi, Ho, Hu. Ka, Ke, Ki, Ko, Hu. Ra, Re, Ri, Ro, Ru. And then using the glottal stop or the coma review, we have A, E, E, O, and U. Can we take it over to the alphabet, please, real quick? So as we said before, this is the alphabet in Psalm 1. Starting off with the vowels, A, E, O, U. Then we have the letters. These are the letters as they're spelled in Psalm 1. Pa, nga, la, mo, nu, pi, sa, ti, vi, he, ka, ro. So even though you can make any kind of combinations with these consonants and vowels, these are the standardized version of how the letters should sound when they're spelled out. That's why we have AMO for AM. What else do we have? Any kind of abbreviation where we use letters. We don't just say AM or PM. We say the letters as they are here. That's why the Congregational Christian Church, they call it Efa Ka Sa. E, Fa, or E, Fa, Ka, and Sa. All of the letters have their own names and they're put together with a certain vowel. I wanted to kind of point out real quick, if we can go to the vowel sounds over there with the new, please, real quick. Because I think everybody's doing real great with the pronunciation, but I just want to do a quick exercise so that we can get our, we can exercise our pronunciation before we get into the new vocabulary that we're gonna learn today. So right here, our vowels, or voweli as they're known in Psalm 1, we have A, E, I, O, U. So with the A, it's really simple. Your teeth don't touch. It's an A sound, pure A. Ah, once again, we said the difference between vowels and consonants is that you have unrestricted air coming out of from your diaphragm up through your throat and out your mouth. Ah. With the A, these two can get kind of, they can get mixed up together. The sound is very, very similar, but there's a way that you can tell that you're saying it correctly. So with the A sound, it's A. Your teeth don't touch. Again, nothing obstructing the air coming out of your mouth. A with no teeth touching. E, however, your teeth do touch. Big smile, E, teeth touching, E and E, E, E. In Samoan, we have a pure O, so it's just O, with making an O with your mouth, O, O. Again, this is two vowels that can get mixed up together easily. We have words like po and fo, and they can sound like it's just an O, but there's a U sound at the end. So your lips need to move with the sound of the O and the U. So with O, you have the pure O, and with the U, it goes upwards. Oo, oo, O, oo, O, oo. So you have O and U. And if you have a word like F-O-U, fo, it goes from fo to fo, po to po. So that's the simplest way that I remember how to say the vowels. A, E, no teeth touching, E, teeth touching, E, and then pure O down here, O, and then U up here. U. A, E, O, and U. Vowels are sometimes the more complicated. We already have all of these consonant sounds in English, so they shouldn't be too hard to adapt to. However, the vowel sounds are really what we need to distinguish from each other, especially in Samoan, where a majority of the words are made up of vowels. All right, now that we've exercised our vowels and we've exercised our vowel sounds combinations, we're going to move over to the new vocab and the new lessons that we're going to be learning on today. Wakase Fury Risa. Come on. We're at almost 6:30, and then we're what do we have for the 4 new lesson plans? Why don't we start with, we'll do that after. Let's start with the who, what, when, where, and why, which, and how. So like Damon was asking last week about owa nga mea. These are the basic ways of doing the who, what, where, and how. And then we've got a couple of, or we've got one extra one, which is which in Samoan. So as you can see, mostly vowels here. O, I. Again, we've got no glottal stop in between the O and the I, so it's perfectly fine to continue the breath with O-Y instead of going O-I. Y. Y. Y means who. Who can remember how we ask what someone's name is in Samoan? Feel free to unmute. Malo kaino. Petra, did you have an answer? I saw you answer.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Can I hear you say it real quick, please?
Sorry, now I can't think of it. Loingo.
That's perfect. Very good. Thank you, guys. I'm going to say Petra. That was awesome. Loingo. So what are we saying when we ask what is somebody's name? Instead of asking what is somebody's name, what are we actually saying?
Your name, what is it?
Your name, what is it? Or actually, it's who is your name? So this is who on the who, what, when, where, and why. But very good, very good. Thank you very much, Kainoa and Petra. So who is OY, then or OY? And what? Actually, this is 3 words instead of 2 words. Fengay fapoposisi va ile va le mali a pamole. What's that? So in other words, I'm sorry, we wrote this incorrectly. It's supposed to be 3 words and not 2 words. It's not olea, but it's actually olea. And then the last a on the olea is, so the actual word for what is a, but the complete standardized version of the word would be, again, like Kaino was saying, it is what, instead of just saying what. Again, what can be considered impolite if we just say it like that. That's why when we tend to speak to people that we don't know, we tend to say the more standardized and polite version of it. But if you're hearing people who are peers talk, they're never going to say olea. They usually just say yeah, yeah, and other examples of that. I fight. What are you doing? So olea. And again, it's an elongated so it's not just a, it's a double, you take the same amount of time to say and you duplicate it. So it's instead of a. Afia. Afia is when. Now I forgot to put in here that there's actually a past and future tense for afia. So afia means when, as in future tense, but anafia is past tense. So if you're asking about something that's happened in the past, it would be anafia as opposed to afia. Afia and anafia. Anafia, one word, anafia. Afia. So one word for afia, one word for anafia. They are combined like that. Whereas where is, again, two words. So instead of just having fea, which is also where by itself, ofea, as in it's where, or where is it? Ofea. Ofea le tama, where is the boy? Ofea le me'ai, where is our food? Ofea, anybody else can think of another example of ofea?
Ofelo Kama.
Ofele Kabale.
Ofel Kavale, very good, Damien. Ofelo Kuma, where's your father? Very good, Savili Faftai level, more examples. Ofelo, what's it just wrote, where's my brain? It's in my ulu. After where, we have Aisea. Again, this is another one with an elongated A. And you have to learn that by hearing and experiencing it. So Aisea. Aisea means why. Aisea, if you're asking somebody something and then you want to know why, it's just simple. Just ask Aisea. Aisea. Really, really, really simple and self-explanatory. Now, lefea means which. So if you're trying to determine between multiple objects and you want to see which person the one is trying to ask you for, then you use the word lefea. So if somebody asks you for an apple and you say lefea apple, it's which apple? Which apple are you asking me for? And down at the bottom, we have how, which is fa'apefea. This is the beginning of the other way of asking somebody how they are. This is the, like we said again, the standardized version that's based on English. So instead of asking somebody wa mai oi, which is the more common way of saying it, or wa mai, as in ua instead of oa, then fa'apefea mai oi is kind of a longer standardized version of it. Apifia, how. Also, apifia works for if you're asking somebody how to do something. So if you're trying to ask somebody how to work on a car, how to do anything that you would have to ask how you're going to do it, and you say, how do you want me to do this? Or apifia like how should I make this food? Sorry, my assistant is helping with the kids outside, so she's preoccupied. But yes, apifia and oam. This is actually just for how are you, but the word for how is fa'apifia. So if you think about it, my oi doesn't really mean how are you as much as like what's going on with you. It's what it means towards the speaker. So you're basically asking the person to say, what's up? Tell me what's up with you. And this will be who, what, when, where, and why, which, and how in Samoan. Now, I'm giving you all of these in the next emails that we're going to be sending out. There's going to be some homework to be done this next coming week, and we're going to ask you guys to create different sentences with the materials that we're giving you this week. So when we come back to it, we're going to go back into our sentences. We're going to talk about them, and then we're going to see what we're able to create, what new things we're going to be able to learn, and what we can create on our own just by saying these things, what sounds right and what doesn't sound right. Because even though I'm academic and my wife is a native speaker, there's always a room for conversation. So sometimes I say something that she questions, and sometimes it's vice versa. So this is a space where we come to define common ground. All right, so moving on from our 5 W's and H, we're going to the, what else do we have here? Lalarishi slide this, these, that, and those. Yeah. So with this, these, those, and that, we have the word lay in there. Anybody can remember from, what was the last thing we used? We've used lay in different lessons, right? Haven't we? Anybody remember what the word lay means? It's similar to the ke and ka in Hawaiian.
Like the?
Yes. It is. In fact, it's so ke and ka in Hawaiian, depending on the word that comes after it, I believe you change. So Samoans are very simple in this respect because we only have one word for the, and that would be le. So right here you have le is the prefix to these two words right here. Now, when you say the, what does that imply? Anybody got an idea of what it implies when you say the about something? In respect to these, that, and those. You can make it a little bit simpler. If I say the apple as opposed to these apple, what is the difference?
Singular.
Singular and plural.
Singular and plural. Very good. So if you see lay in there, then you know it's talking about one thing. Whereas if you see ne, which is the plural of lene, then you know it's plural. So these down here, these and those are obviously plural. And then these down here at the bottom, that, lena, and lela are also singular or plural.
Singular.
Anybody?
Singular.
Very good, Damon. Tough tight. Right, so for this, we got Lene and Lea. So when we say close to the speaker, everybody got a good understanding of first person, second person, third person? So if I am the speaker, I am first person. The person I'm speaking to is second person. Third person is if I am speaking to the second person about someone else. So anything I say about Lene and Lea means I am talking about something that is close to myself. Same thing with these, ne and ia. I'm talking about something that is here closer to me than it is to the second person I'm speaking to. With na and la, it implies that, so na implies that it's closer to the second person than it is to me. La implies that it is closer, or it's farther away from both of us. So instead of saying na, like you were asking me, Damon, nga implies, so it's the same. The nga and the na are the same word. The na implies that I'm talking about something that's close to you. It's usually when somebody's holding it. If I'm holding this weird thing right here, which is, sorry, you guys can't even see that. This is a weird keychain that my wife bought online. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah. But yeah, so if my wife was holding this and I asked her, yeah, then she wouldn't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the thing she's. La, on the other hand, means I'm speaking about an object that's further away from both of us, and we'd have to decipher what that, or the second person is going to have to figure out what I'm talking about. That lena is, again, it's the singular version of na. Lele means close. I believe it's close to both. Is it closer to the second speaker, or is it in between the both of us? Wesa? Wesa? I can mute. Okay. Lele, I believe it's close. It's closer to the. We already determined that Lena is closer to the second person. I believe Lele is closer to me, and then Lela and Lale are both farther away. So we're talking about something that's or a third object rather than a third person. So we're going to include these again in the homework that we're going to give to everybody to make statements of. And then let's go over to before we get into the new conversations, let's go over to the last. Oh, okay, statements in the word O. So this is very good. This is what Kaino was talking about. So as you can see, all of these statements start with the word O. And this comes from the Ngangana Samoa book by Afileti Ngalubulimana Hankin. And it's got a brief explanation here about the word O and what it means. So the word O at the beginning of each statement has an equivalent function similar to the words it is or they are in English. There is no direct English equivalent of O. The O in these kinds of statements takes in the function of a. Oh, get outside. Hey, have it for me na. Hey, so we fit quoi? Kabi. They fight of a singer. Sorry. Yeah. So each of these statements starts with O. Now, as you can see, they identify an object. Anybody want to give a try? These are really simple. Let's have Damon do the set of number one, please.
Ole kama.
Malo.
Ole la au. Ole la au.
Ole la au.
Ole la au.
Very good.
Ola au.
Mm-hmm.
Opasi.
So once again, we got the lay in there, right, Damon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lay, you can obviously see, right? Lay is singular, and then no lay means
plural.
Plural. Very good. Dana, do you mind doing number two for us, please? Mole mole.
Ole lao leneng mea. Ole tavale lale.
Right. So when we say ole ta'avale lale, as we covered in the last slide, we're saying the car. Now, where is the car in relationship to the speaker in the second person?
Far away.
Far away, Malo George, Malo Faftai. So since you volunteered, George, we're going to have you do number 3.
Ole fale tele.
Faletele. Malo.
Ole fale tele.
No le. It's just o.
Oh, o fale tele.
Malo.
Ole moli.
So it's a moli.
Moli.
Moli. Very good.
O mausi.
O maosi. It is maosi. It's always mao. Anytime anything goes wrong, it's mao. Malo. Faftai, George.
No.
So as you can see, these are pretty self-explanatory. They're easy to understand, and then they'll help us in our conversation. So if somebody's asking for different things, you can explain what they are. Ole fale tele, which is a big house, or it is a big house. They are big houses. O fale tele. So as you can see, there's emphasis on the end of tele, but there's no emphasis on the end of fale tele. Falitele is, once again, plural versus singular. It is a big house. They are big houses. Falitele or fale tele. You omit the le for the plural, and then no emphasis at the end. For this one, moli, which is light, there's emphasis or famamafa on the o and the I. Once again, this is a living language, so we learned it through experience, and we're experiencing right now this word should be pronounced moli instead of just moli. So that's the difference between light and orange. So moli with no emphasis would be orange, whereas moli would be light. Oh, sorry, being called. Yes? Oi. Sorry, it's a different babe. Olimodi, okay, olimodi. And then maosi, there's an emphasis on a, and then komediliu and osi. So maosi. And that is.
Moli.
Any questions
Sorry.
before we move? Yeah, you got a question? Yeah.
So you mean the color orange or the fruit orange?
It's actually both. So we get the name of the color from the fruit.
The context. Got it.
Anybody can tell me the name of bars of soap in Samoa? Why? I know you got this.
I don't.
You don't? What about Tinara? What do you call soap in Samoa? It's okay, Tinara. Let's try George. What do you call?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
No worries.
Fasimoli.
Thank you, Kainoa. What was that one more time?
Fasimoli.
Fasimoli. So,
Okay.
fasi means piece of something. When you they call it fasi is like to beat something up, but when you take something apart piece by piece, that's what a fasi is. So before we had soap, we actually had oranges. We used to bathe with orange peels, lemon peels, things like that. And that's where the word comes from. Now we don't use orange peels anymore because we got bars of soap, but the word continued on. So the word fasimoli has stayed on with us, even though we no longer use that, but now we use it to identify soap. And any kind of soap, no matter whether it's Dial or Dove or Irish Spring, they're all called fasimoli. But it's the same moli, it's the same orange. So orange, and then once again, that's where we get the color from. The color orange, the fruit orange, and then taking a piece of orange to use, or a piece of the skin, actually. The skin is what we used to use to shower with. So taking a piece of that orange and using it as soap is where we got the word for soap. Fasimoli, piece of orange.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So when I lived in Samoa, they would make, we used to call it turtle soap. They were real long bars of soap and they used to cut it. Is that anything to do with the fussy, the piece, the fussy?
Is those for showering or is that for laundry? I thought those were for laundry.
It was laundry for sure. We used to wash it in the river.
So
but
with
I think
that,
sometimes we used it to bathe. Sometimes.
That's really interesting because the word that we use for that is actually poka, which means powder.
Okay.
But yeah, it's exactly like you're saying. It's a bar of soap, but because it's got a different function, it had a different word assigned to it, and the translation again. A lot of things are lost in translation. Just like pisupo, we call corned beef pisupo, but it's actually pea soup. The words, the loan word is pea soup, and they translated it into Samoan as pea supo. But that's another example of it. It's called pauka, but it's actually not powdered.
Okay. Thank you.
Really interesting. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Those are what we use when we go in the river and wash our clothes. Pasimoli kamia. So that would be a bar of soap that we use to, kamia means laundry. So as you can see, right? Do you guys all see what Wessa's putting up on the screen? Notice how these translations are super long. So even though these are like proper ways that we would say things or write it out, if we're gonna sell it in the store, then we'd write up a sign that says this. But when we're having an actual conversation with people, I'm not going to tell my wife to and just say amay le pauka. Amay means to bring, by the way. So amay le pauka, amay le. Anybody can tell me the Samoan word for dish soap? Anybody know the Samoan word for dish soap? My wife is laughing right now.
She just typed it.
She typed it, but that's not the word that we. So I have never heard anyone say this.
There's a short
abbreviated word. So the word that we actually use for dish soap in Samoa is joy, Joy, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what brand of soap that we use. Every liquid soap is called joy. Now, the thing that made me realize that our word for dish soap was joy is when they told me to go and buy some joy to. Joy they wanted me to buy joy to wash the car, but they're talking about the car wash, the actual like bottle of car wash. So that's when I realized like it's an adopted word, a loan word. Like even though it's not even spelled with Samoan letters, that's become the word that we've associated with dish soap. Sorry, we're getting a little bit off topic here, but these are good things to know because like when we learn like this, it sticks with us. That's how it sticks with me. I hope you guys, I hope I'm not wasting your time with stuff. Anyway, let's go on to the let's go on to the next conversation. So using these base conversations that we have, once again, these are really, really impersonal conversations. So these are things you're having with your peers. They're written in the K dialect, or what we call ka. Once again, the letter for K is ka, and when we speak with the K, it's also called taukala ilika, or speaking with K instead of the T, which is more popular. And it's actually the more common way of speaking. So when I speak without thinking about it, I use K more than I use T. If I could just read through this real quick, you guys will hear it. So you can hear the K. Olea mako aku ile fea mafea ya mangaya ya opo kako pero ya kiri. You don't see one T in this whole conversation. because once you speak it just normal without thinking about it, then the K comes out real easily, which can be counterproductive because they teach everything in the T. But anybody ever seen the videos for Anganu 101? There's a program out of New Zealand where they do a 1 week intensive course. They come over and then they teach you like very important protocols within the Samoan culture. And a lot of the folks, just like us, their first time learning Samoan, they didn't have any experience with it. They went up to UH for into the auditorium, and then we had about a 60-person class was in there. And a lot of people who were learning it, they had no experience with Samoan. So I was there and I was reading all of the materials that they'd written up. And once again, it was all written in the T language. And when they're speaking it to us, they're speaking it to us with A. So I tried to raise my hand and acknowledge that. But when I was trying to explain it, they didn't really get what I was saying. They thought I was trying to say that everything needed to be respectful. But I was like, no, like if you've only spoken English your entire life and you're looking at things written with K and N, and people are speaking with, written with T and N, and people are speaking with K and G, and it can be very confusing because you're not reading what's written. I mean, you're not hearing what's written on what you're reading. So I just wanted to put that out first before we get into this, so that you guys are prepared to read a lot of Ks. But this is our second conversation. There's two conversations here. It's a lot like the first one that we learned where people were meeting each other for the first time. These conversations are more based on already having established that you know this person or somebody that you already know. And you guys are seeing each other passing by and you just say something. What I was taught by Aumua was that ilongo fear Samoa lang ay kaukala. Or Samoa like or Samoa e pisa. The Samoan's always making noise. So anytime you see another Samoan, there's always something to say. First person, which would be me. Malo. Second person. Why don't Wesa? Busy. Wesa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saya away mo second person from Muli.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Malo.
Malo. Wow.
Yeah, ang email fa sa video ko foi. Wow.
Yo lema ko aku faifa ka.
Kaya kele o kupi ah. Ya mga ya upo. Ya kakofirwa yakin.
Balik sekua.
Ya manuera. So very, very simple, very quick. But that's the basic conversation you have, or for me, because I see people, I gotta say at least 50 times a day at Costco. So this is the basic conversation that I have with them every time I see them. Usually you're just saying, hey, what's up? What you guys doing? And, after that, it's about 10 goodbyes. Usually after I say, well, then they come back with something else. Then I come back with something else. And finally you're like, fa. Especially on the phone. In the phone, it's terrible. But very, very simple. We've already learned our pronunciation. This shouldn't be too hard. If we don't mind, why don't we break up into some groups of 2 and give it a shot, and then we can hear how everybody sounds. And then after that, we'll get into our next part of the lesson. So we'll pass it to you for Modi. Wesa. Yeah.
Koe kolu ka fiku.
Oh yeah, Fikawira. Okay, give it up for Oli and Damon family. Oli, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello, better. Okay, Damon and Oli, you guys can pick between first person, second person, and we'll go through conversation 1 on conversation part 2, please.
With the first one?
The first one, yes.
Malo.
Malo wa.
Leai angi mea fa'asavili aku foi wa.
La olea mako'u. Ko'u e. Oako. Is it oh?
Because it doesn't have the glottal stop between the vowels, so it's just mako instead of mako.
It doesn't have the macron here. It throws me up. Okay. Oaku e.
Ia manaya la oko kako feloai akili.
Walele. Safua.
Manuia leaso.
Malo lava. Great job, guys.
Good job.
So just one coaching statement on the wa. It's a elongated on that. So when you wa, you can kind of hear it. It's not too long, but yeah. No worries. And yeah, just remember, you can see where it says Savalivali aku, that komililiu, or that backwards comma is where we use the glottal stop. So that's where you stop the air. But things like mako, is there any leai? There's no glottal stop there. Lea, no glottal stop there. So all of these different ones, but it's really good with Oli. He caught the glottal stop on the Falegagana. There's supposed to be one in between the A and the I down here, next to Akili. So it's not Falegagana, it's Falegagana. Again, with on the second person, on second to the bottom, it says walile. So walile, soifua. And then manuilaso. Very good. Great job, guys. Why don't we have Tinora and Roxanne, if you guys don't mind, from Molimole.
Malo.
Roxanne, you're on mute. You got to go down to, where is it? Yeah, where the microphone is, and unmute it there on your screen.
How's
there
that?
Yeah, there you go.
Never mind, baby. You can go back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go again. The second person.
Malo.
Malo oa.
Leai ni mea fa'asavili aku foi ua.
Aya o lea o kua o akua e.
Ya manaya ya o ko kako feloi akili.
Malo, good job.
Ua lele soifua.
Manuia leaso.
Malo. Good job, guys. Good job. Just try to catch that. Okay, so once again, we elongate the a on the wa, so malo wa, and there needs to be a glottal stop on the filuai. And then why don't you put a word in there just for soifua. Very good. So glottal stop, komililiu on the filuai family, and then let's put a word on the lea. Yeah, olea mako aku e fakao or something like that, just so that we have, because it's an incomplete sentence. It's left incomplete because we're supposed to fill it in later. But for practice today, we should have a word there. And then why don't we go with Petra and Vai, please?
Malo.
Malo wa.
Ekia ulua.
Sorry, I can't even hardly see this.
Leayang
imea
Savili.
sorry, sorry, I can hardly see it. Just a second, let me take a picture of it real quick and I can read it from there. Leai ang mea Falegagana aku fo'i ua.
Hello.
Ia o lea mako o aku e whaakau.
Yeah.
La manaya la oko kako fe'i loai akili.
Wa lele soifua.
Manuia leaso.
Lo lava. Good job, guys. Babe, I wouldn't know to come to you if you're white from more. Great job, great job. Who else we got here? Let's give it to can we have Rachel and George, please?
Hello.
Hello. What?
Hello.
Leai agi mea Falegagana aku foi ua.
Real quick, Rachel. So the one thing that I want to, it might make it easier. So when you say "wa," try to think of it as if you're asking somebody like "what's up." It's the same. It's the same like inflection. Yeah. So instead of just saying "wa," you're like "wa," like, "wa, what's up? What's up? Wa." Yeah, it's a question. So you want to make sure it sounds like a question. Wa, malo, wa. And you notice how it's repeated when the second person says malo wa. Like, sorry. And now I saw malo wa. And then the second person says the same thing. A lot of times if I see somebody, I'm like, wa, they immediately just reply, wa. It goes back and forth like that. So yeah, it's a question, and it's meant to sound like a question. So continue on from there, from second person part 2 where it says, yeah, olea mako aku e whakau.
Ua. Ya ole mako. Ya ole o aku e whakau. Ia mania ka o ko kako wheloai akili.
Was that my part or?
Yeah, you can do the second person part.
Late, 34.
Manuia leaso.
Lo lava fafkai o lua. All right, let's go with, sorry, where's my view? I'm trying to see who else I have in here. Savili and Rob, please.
Malo
wa.
Leayangi mea Falegagana aku fo'i wa.
Malo.
Ia o lea makau aku e whakau.
Ia mangaya lau kou kako wheloai akili.
Wal lele. Soifua.
Manuia leaso.
Yeah, that sounded really good. Can you guys try the second conversation, please? Use the same word. So for second person, fa'akau, and then for the first person, let's say faleoloa.
Tale, wa.
Ia kau whaakope le whaakau.
Ia lea mako o ile Falegagana.
Ia oke la. Koi fe loai se kaimi.
Ia ole lei fa soifua.
Soifua ia. Malo. Good job, guys. Thank you. This conversation is one I've had very many times at the start. So, wow. Yeah, 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 okay la. Yeah. Yeah, well, late fire and then soifua. Very, very simple.
And what does that mean?
And yet very effective. I'm sorry, what was that, Roxy?
What does that all mean, though?
Which one?
Iako fa kope le fa akua.
Akau. So fa kope is when you hurry something up. It just means like I'm trying to tie up loose ends, or and like fa kope is so fa kope means tie up loose ends, and then fa kau means what's it called? Shop. So it just means that I'm trying to hurry up and finish my shopping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then the other guy replies, "Yeah, I'm going to the store."
Okay, thank you.
But the fa kope, it what's it called? It works in any situation. So if you're talking about yeah, if you're talking about you know, hurrying up whatever you're doing, like I'm trying to hurry up and finish sweeping the house. Trying to hurry up and finish the cooking.
Oh.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different ways we can do it. What I would really like from you guys when I give you guys the homework assignments would be to come up with your own things that we could do. We could come up with translations for it, and then that way it'll be your own. You guys can individualize each conversation. Who else do we have? We got Dara. We did Dana already, right? I was gonna match Dara and Dana, but I've already used up my Dana. We got Rob, Rachel, George. Dara, do I have a partner? Oh, Kainoa, sorry. Kainoa and Dara.
Just a quick question. You know, the word sole, is that male, like masculine? Is that like a man?
Sole.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've only heard it that way. That's why.
It's an exclamation. Like you can say sole and it just means like, oh my goodness. But it does, when you're talking to men, it's usually referred only to men.
Gotcha.
Then the feminine
Sunga.
Yeah, the feminine version of it is sunga. They actually have more than just, they have sunga, funa, siaula. There's all kinds of different ones for women, but men only have like what is it? Sole, tama, roa, uso. Oh, that uso is what's it called? Uso is not specifically masculine. It's actually sibling of the same sex, so girl to girl and boy to boy. But more modernly, we've more used the word uso to imply brother. Oh, that's why you see a lot of people using the word to only mean brother than sister, actually. But for Samoan, for actual Samoan, it actually means sisters, like between two sisters, female. And even because it's based on gender, Fafa Finga can actually call each other uso.
Okay.
If I babe, go back to the conversation when you're done. Because I know and Ara need their turn.
Yeah, kako whakope ia whakau.
Ia o lea mako o ile pale o loa.
No.
Ia okay la koe wheloni se kaimi.
Ia wa lele pa soifua.
Soifua. There should be a second fa soifua at the end of that. It kind of feels incomplete without the reply to fa soifua.
Fa soifua.
This is good because now we get to work on making our homework more accurate. Anybody notice that there's an extra line underneath the first person? Ya olea makuo ile fale oloa. Anybody tell me the difference between that line and the line below it?
Or the second conversation?
Second conversation, there's a part in parentheses right there. No, those parentheses? Yeah. I'm not sure what those are. Those colons. It says ya olea oke alu ile, and it should say fale oloa. So olea oke alu ile fale oloa. What's the difference between olea oke alu ile fale oloa and ya olea mako wo ile fale oloa?
Does one mean I'm at the store and the other mean I'm going?
No, it doesn't mean. Okay. They both mean I'm going to the store, but there's a difference between. It's easier to notice if you single out the words. It says olea mako wo, and then the bottom one says olea oke alu.
One meaning we're going.
Yes.
Yes. So once again, I'm sorry.
Mako is we're going.
Yes, mako is we're going. So what's the difference in that between where and I?
Single.
The O and the mako.
Yeah, once again, it's singular and plural. So the word even changes for going when we're doing it plural. So you can see where it says O, the word that's the elongated O after mako wo, that's plural for going. Anytime it's more than one person going, it's O. If it's just one person going, I'm going by myself, or the second person, alu oi, that means then you would use the word alu. Alu is singular, O is plural. Anybody here speak Hawaiian?
My husband.
I'm learning now.
What's the difference between mako and kako in Hawaiian?
Inclusive.
Right. Inclusive and exclusive. Very good. So mako is actually exclusive. So who are we excluding with mako?
The person you're talking to.
Right, the second person. With mako, you exclude the second person, and then with kako, we're all inclusive. So we're including everybody. And then if we're saying oke alu, that means it's just being by myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how it feels right now, just being by myself.
Are you talking to me?
No, the whole class. I'm trying to get everybody involved, but yeah.
I thought it froze.
Oh no.
No, I'm reading this.
Walked away.
No worries. We're having a good time over here, so it's good. All right. So this is going to be the basis for our homework, and this is going to be the thing. Those 4 things right there. We're going to make some more conversations, and then it's going to have a lot of ad-libs so that you'll be able to create your own conversation out of it. And then after that, we'll practice it once we get back here. But everybody feel comfortable with that? Any more questions regarding these before we move on?
I just have a question about the assignments. Are you emailing them to us? Because I haven't gotten any of those.
Oh, you might be one of the ones that I don't have an email for.
Okay. Do you want me to?
What is? Wait, can you? Do you have my email?
I think yes, I have something from.
What is the email you got?
Okay.
What is the email that you have for me?
Hang
or
on.
I can. Yeah. Yeah, kiyomaoshi@gmail. I'm typing it up in the chat right now. But email me so that I can email you, and then I'll send you everything that I sent to everybody else. This class was kind of informal previous to this. And then when the nonprofit picked me up, they actually took over all the admin duties, and they're supposed to be forwarding me everything. But when I got the email list, it was incomplete because they didn't have an email, like they didn't have anywhere to input the email initially when they did the sign up. Yeah, so I had to go back and correct that. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll get that rectified, and then yeah, I'll send you everything. But yes, the homework will be sent to you by the email.
Okay, Pa'afetai.
Can we go back to the conversation one more time? I want to make sure that everybody understands the content of the conversation. Does everybody understand? Okay, on the left side conversation where it says Leayang Imea. Anybody? Does everybody understand what Leayang Imea means?
Yeah, it means no.
Leay means no, but what does it mean in conjunction with ang Leayang Imea?
The right side?
Not much.
Yeah, not much. Nothing going on. Very good. Leayang Imea. Fa'asavili aku fo'i. So what is fa'asavili? Anybody understand fa'asavili?
Wait, what? I got lost.
We're on conversation, we're on our second conversation sheet. On the conversation on the left side, the second line of the first person where it says leayang imea, it's immediately followed by the word fa'asavili. Everybody understand what fa'asavili means?
No. Yeah,
Is there anybody who has any idea?
So breeze.
Very good. It means so savili is the word for breeze, but when we add the prefix of fa'a, so do you want to give an input on that? That was your word.
Like, get some air. Fasabili.
Yeah, get some air. The original word that I had written was Savalivali, which is like go for a walk, but she said that.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna start singing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a song. Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta input. In fact, we're gonna write out the first verse of the song and its history today before we close. Actually we got 10 more minutes. Okay, good. So we're pretty, let's just go through the first conversation real quick. We already did Mako. Everybody understands what Fa'akao means?
Where?
Fa'atao.
Fa'atao or Fa'akao?
Where are you?
Second person, second line. Ya olea Mako aku e Fa'akao.
Oh no, I don't know. Fa'akao.
Anybody have the answer for Fa'akao? If I would have been Moiso, just stay there and I know somebody knows. George?
Fa'akao.
Thank you, Tinora. Tinora, can you say it in the chat? Can you say it over here so that we can hear?
Shop.
Very good. Fa'akao means to go shopping or to shop. Anybody knows? Okay, the next line, first person. What is manaya?
Nice.
Nice,
Beautiful.
very good. Who was that?
Petra.
Petra, thank you, Petra. You're awesome. You are manaya. Yeah, manaya la oko. You guys are doing good. It's kind of like you're saying you're, what do you call that? I guess praising them. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Yeah, manaya la oko. Kako firwayaki. This conversation kind of, that's another thing about Samoan is like, even though you're like one person, when you get married, you no longer are a singular person, you become a family. So when they ask you if you're married, they don't say, they ask you, and then it changes from a singular to a plural. So they ask you, Just like the kako, it's the same ko. So that's why you have plural in here. Because a lot of times, even though you're talking to one person, you're using the plural because it implies that person is married or that person is representing more than one person. So, anybody know the meaning of the word ele?
Big or a lot.
I'm sorry?
Big or a lot.
That would be tele. Tele is big or a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
It means good.
Who's good? Who said that? Was that Petra again? Petra, you're awesome. Petra, lele. Yeah, what lele? It means, yeah, it's all good. And then soy fua. Anybody know soy fua?
No.
So I'll see you later. Soy fua?
Soy fua is not see you later.
Is it good night?
See you later is actually Filowai Akili. Filowai. So the other there's two words for see in Samoan. There's va'ai and then there's iloa. Iloa also, it has a double connotation. It means to see, but it also means to know. So when you have Filowai, it means two people see each other. We'll see each other again. Just like you said, see you later. Filowai Akili. Akili is the word that means again or later on or it'll increase later. Soifua, on the other hand, means good health. It's a word that we say when we say goodbye to each other, but it the connotation has to do with health. Your health in general is called soifua maloloina. And when they talk about health, like things that take care of your health, maloloina means good health. And then last but not least, manuia leaso, have a good day. Just like how are you doing? Manuia leaso, may your day be blessed. All right, so now that we've kind of dissected this conversation and we have the meanings, we're gonna write out the lyrics for Savalivali, and then we'll put the lyrics in the homework. But just so that we get an idea of it with these last few minutes, we'll put it up there on the big screen for everybody to see. And then we'll close after that with a short kakalo. Thank you, everybody, for your time today. Savalivali means go for a walk. Very, very easy, self-explanatory song. Savalivali means go for a walk. Tau tala tala means too much talk. It's also a bilingual song. Elua o Lotu. Tala tala means too much talk. Alofa iate oi means I love you. Take it easy. Fai lemu. Anybody heard this before? Raise your hand if you did.
Yes.
I don't know. Good. This song has got 3 verses, so we're gonna go through all 3, and then there's a little bit of history in the song. I have a book on it, and then we'll go through like what it's about actually. But thank you, Kaino. I didn't see that until now, but yes, it does mean live. It's actually the respect word for live. So ola means live in Samoan, but when we're speaking with respect, and we refer to ola as soifua. Very good, Kaino. So that's going to be our first. We'll do that next week. That's so that's the first verse of the song we're going to be learning. we'll study that in our homework. And why don't we pick one person to give us a short closing prayer, and then we'll head out for the night. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for putting up with all of our antics, and thank you for supporting. Tinora, can I pick on you, please?
Sure. Dear God, please let everybody who is on the Zoom call and everybody's families have a great night's sleep and have good health throughout the night and throughout the days coming in the future. And please let anybody who is not here or who is interested just be okay, and please let this knowledge that we are learning help us grow in our Samoan language and maybe pass it down to generations so that we can preserve it throughout all of our families. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys. Manuel Vayaso Fo, thank you very much. Have a great week. All next week.
Manuel po.
I'm sorry, George. I didn't notice your hand till now. What's up, George?
No, you said raise your hand if you heard the song.
Ellie. How you been, bro? I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. I'm